Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. I've got to say thank you. Thank you for 4,000 subscribers. You guys have watched videos, you have left comments, but most importantly, you have supported what I'm trying to do as I show people how I cook. So man, how do I want to celebrate this? How do I want to celebrate 4,000 subscribers? Well, there's only one way I can think of, and that is to show you guys how I make steak. Up next on This Is How I Cook, to celebrate you guys and your support for 4,000 subscribers, I'm going to show you guys how I make a porterhouse at home on my pellet smoker, my Pitboss. Up next on This Is How I Cook. So guys, before we get too far into the rest of the video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. It really does help my growing channel, helps me to stay in touch with you as I push out new videos for you guys to watch. So, the star of our show. The star of our show is a porterhouse steak. This is about 20 ounces, and generally speaking, it's not a hard and fast rule, but a 20-ounce steak as a porterhouse or a T-bone steak roughly, it should be about an inch thick. So this steak is right at about an inch thick, 20 ounces. A porterhouse is a really fascinating steak because it's actually two steaks in one. So on the side here, the long side of the steak, this is actually a New York strip. On this side of the steak, this is actually a tenderloin or the fillet. And so you actually get two steaks for the price of one, quote unquote, when you buy a porterhouse. And we're gonna keep the seasoning super simple on this beautiful steak. This seasoning is just gonna be a blend of salt, pepper, accent, my friend Mr. MSG, some crushed rosemary, and we're obviously gonna use some garlic. So we've got our steak, and I've got the steak sitting on a piece of aluminum foil. Now, a lot of people say that you need binders to season meat. You don't need any binders. This steak came out of the package with plenty of moisture, and I took it and gave it a rinse under some cold water in my sink and patted it dry. So this steak is very tacky to the touch. There's plenty of residual moisture here to help your seasonings bind. And so all I'm gonna do is start with a generous sprinkling of my kosher salt. I like kosher salt here because I can actually see how much salt I'm applying. And all we wanna do is sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And I pat it in as I'm sprinkling it. We want nice pops of flavor from the salt. And so next I've got some coarse ground pepper here, or some fresh ground black pepper that I made at home. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Apply the pepper and then just pat it in. And I actually like a lot of pepper on my steak. So I'm gonna put a little bit more here. Next, I'm gonna come in with my garlic powder. Perfect. Come back with my accent. And you don't need a lot of this here, just enough to help wake the flavor up. And then I'm coming in with my crushed rosemary. And we do the same thing, we just kind of pat it in. Now, your steak has two sides. Your steak has two sides. So we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other side of the steak. Now, steak has an edge. Steak has an edge. And this beautiful cap of fat here on this edge, we're gonna collect the seasonings that are on this foil with the edge of the steak. So all I'm gonna do is take the steak edge and just roll it and pat it against all these beautiful spices and seasonings we've put down here. Same thing on the other side. This other edge, same thing. And that is what your seasoned steak should look like. Okay, so at this point, you can go ahead and cook your steak if you want to, throw it on the grill, but I'm gonna let this steak marinate. Letting the steak marinate allows all the seasonings, the salt, the pepper, the garlic, the crushed rosemary, the accent, it allows those seasonings to go to work on the meat. I've even done these steaks where I've seasoned them up and let them marinate overnight. And I think that delivers the best flavor on the steak. Now, there's a lot of conversation on the internet about, is the steak gonna be dry? Is the steak gonna start going through like a curing process? And I'm not here to try to sell all of that. The only thing I know is that when I eat my steak and I've let it marinate in the refrigerator overnight, and I toss it onto this hot grill, magic happens. So if you want that magic in your home, then you can follow my directions. But make this recipe your own. Try it in whichever way you want to do it. Hey, do a short rest on your steak, do a long marinade overnight, do it in between, and you tell me in the comments what you prefer. And now I'm gonna go show you how I set up my pellet smoker to cook this beautiful steak. You don't wanna miss that. All right guys, we're outside on my deck and I'm about to show you how I've got my Pitboss Pro Series smoker set up to cook this Porterhouse steak. What I love about this smoker is that it has direct flame access. So we're gonna sear the steak at the end, and we're gonna do what I call the reverse sear. We're gonna put the steak inside the smoker, and I'm gonna cook it on a low temperature at about 180, 185 degrees, because I wanna generate some smoke flavor on the steak. And then once that steak has finished getting imparted with some smoke flavor, I'm gonna open up the smoker and set the direct flame access to open, and we're gonna sear off that steak and put on a beautiful crust. Here you go guys, we have this steak placed inside of the Pitboss, and what I'm gonna do is allow this to cook to an internal temperature of about 110, 115 degrees. And once this steak hits that temperature, we're gonna open up the sear plate and sear off that steak and put on a beautiful crust. One of the things I love about a Pitboss is that direct flame access. I can't wait to show you guys how this steak turns out. All right guys, so this is our Porterhouse steak after we've taken a moment and let it smoke in the smoker. It's been out here for about 40, 45 minutes. So now I'm going to actually sear off this steak. We've got some beautiful flavor developed from the smoke, and we just want to finish the steak with a hot sear. This is my steak to celebrate 4,000 subscribers. I'm gonna show you guys that baked potato. Yeah, man. This is how I cook. So guys, that's how I cook steak. And thank you again, 4,000 subscribers. I still cannot believe that there are 4,000 people interested in how I cook. Guys, do me a favor, try this recipe at home. The summer is upon us, and man, it is time to get out there and enjoy your grill, fire it up, and cook some amazing steaks. Start with a good quality cut of steak, do yourself a favor and season all sides and edges, and then cook it however you want to cook it. I did the reverse sear. Started it on a low temperature, gently raised the steak temperature until it got to the internal temperature that I desired, and then I seared it off to put a beautiful crust on it. Guys, once again, I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. Normally, I would try this in front of y'all, but what I'm gonna do is share this with my neighbor and my friend, and I maybe can get them, if they're not camera shy, to tell you guys themselves how much they enjoyed that amazing steak. So I'm here with the fellas, man. So this is my neighbor Al. You guys saw him on my other video when I did the brisket. And this is our buddy Lou, man.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. So this is the steak, man. We brought it out here for him to try. And so I'm going to give them a chance to react for you guys. And this time, man, I'm going to sit back because I'm always the one telling y'all how good it is. I'm going to let them tell you how good it is.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Dig in, man.
Got tender. Go right here.
Yep.
Oh, my God. I ain't
it's got the right temperature on it.
I ain't even eat it, man. I tell you what.
Because I thought
I'll eat it.
Oh, my God.
It's good.
The juice hit me in the back of my neck. Oh, my God.
The chuckle. That's what we hit. That's what we hit them with.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
Jameson, you outdid yourself on that thing.
Well, man, that's how I cook, man.
That's nice.
Yeah, man.
The flavor, man.
I can taste it. I can taste a little bit of that butter in there too now.
Oh yeah, man, I finished it in butter. I just put a big old slab of butter on there and let it do its thing.
Man, I can feel it.
Yeah, man.
Lord have mercy. I'm going in for another piece, man.
Well, fellas, thank y'all again for y'all review of the steak. And, man, we're going to sit back and chill out, man, for the rest of the evening.
Oh, my God, James.
Cheers,
This is
brother.
awesome.
Cheers, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, thank you guys, man.
Oh, my God.